Welcome to the Let Them Trade game review. A generous team from Byte Rockers Games offered me the chance to take a look at this game. So if you are wondering whether you should buy it or not, sit a little closer because this video is for you. This is a hexagonal trade simulator with a 3D isometric view. The action takes place in a fantasy kingdom, but unlike the Majesty series, you act on behalf of the king's subject, who must complete the king's orders. The visual design is built around woodwork decorations, and all buildings and characters appear and move as if they were made of wood. At present, the game consists of 3 tutorial maps, 8 campaign maps, 1 special winter holiday map, and 12 custom maps available in the map editor. You can also create your own maps and publish them on the Steam Workshop. The storyline consists of short conversations between you and the king. The king appears somewhat smug, a bit selfish, and humorous, which gives the fantasy kingdom a pleasant personality. And it is His Majesty's beloved squirrel, Mr. Nuts, acting as the advisor, that adds a certain charm. The level design is oriented around cozy gameplay, as if you are sitting in a warm wooden room and the map acts like a board game. If you rotate the camera, you can see the interior of the room and even a cute cat that you can pet. Alright, let us jump into the gameplay. You start with the Castle Keep, which is your, or rather His Majesty's residence. From the castle menu, you can build royal buildings around it, such as barracks and research centers. From the basic menu, you can build cities and infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, to connect them with each other and with the castle. To operate a city, you need to decide which resources it will gather or which items it will produce. For example, a lumberjack and a potato farm each require 2 peasants. That means you need to build a sufficient number of peasant huts to successfully operate those buildings. There are 3 working classes in the game: peasants, workers, and citizens, while aristocrats are only consumers. You can unlock each class, along with other useful tools, by researching the technology tree. Clearly, the developers adopted the labor mechanics from the Anno game series, which is not a bad choice in my opinion. There is only one type of controllable unit: knights. You can have up to 3 knights, and they function based on a flag system, which seems to be adopted from the Majesty series of games. They have 2 functions: scouting the area and capturing or destroying bandit camps. Knights are fueled by food and will occasionally return to the castle to resupply. Now that we have learned the basics of the game, let us understand what makes it unique. In my opinion, the main feature of this game is its automated trade system. Every city you build has its own budget, demands, and goods to sell. Cities automatically decide what they need and when to buy it. Your role is to make sure their economy does not collapse. For example, in our traditional thinking, if we build fishing boats in one city, we would also want to place fish oil production in the same city. This seems logical because shorter logistics usually mean faster production. But in this game, if you build the entire production chain in one city, it will definitely raise the prices and turn that city into a regional monopolist. As a result, only the rich cities will be able to purchase those products, while they become unaffordable for poorer cities. Taking this into account, you need to balance the production of goods strategically, making sure no city becomes an outsider and that each one plays its valuable role in the global economy. Alright, that sounds fun, but what about the cons of the game? I know we cannot demand too much from a small indie game, so let us call it feedback for the developer rather than criticism. First, the voice-over for the king. The king's dialogues are humorous and entertaining, but most players would probably prefer to hear them voiced by an actor. The character has a bright charisma and deserves a proper royal voice. I believe there are many talented voice actors who would gladly participate, even for a small reward. Second, the bandit system. It may be fun at the beginning, but it becomes quite annoying in the late game. Bandits constantly appear and distract you from your main objectives and trading. In my opinion, the bandit system should either be reworked from the ground up or removed entirely. Alternatively, once you defeat them on a map, they should not respawn again. Third, the Happy Holidays map. The snow camouflages the terrain too much. It becomes difficult to see whether a tile is grassland, desert, or clay. To identify the terrain, I have to zoom out until the camera removes the snow mask, which is not very convenient. Fourth, the game automatically deselects a building after placing it. This means that if I want to build 3 of the same buildings in a row, I have to select them from the menu again each time. The same goes for roads and bridges. It feels uncomfortable and should be improved. 5th, the game's visuals look somewhat monotonous and gray. I understand that the world is designed around a woodwork theme, but it is still a game and should be more visually appealing. The game is built on Unreal Engine 5, and I think adding more vibrant colors could improve its overall appeal. Many players enjoy watching the daily life of their villagers, and it should look more lively and enjoyable. 6th, the majority of buildings, especially production buildings, look almost the same, making it difficult to distinguish between them. I often have to click on a building and check the interface to find the one I'm looking for. I think each building should have clear, distinctive visuals, which would greatly improve the overall game experience. 7th, this is just my personal point of view. It is difficult to tell whether the city landlords' avatars are male or female. I think human characters' appearances should be drawn more clearly and respectfully. If the developers are concerned about potential criticism from minorities or activists, they could alternatively rework the characters into clearly stylized wooden figures, matching the game's overall theme. 8th, the game has deep building management, and sometimes it requires swapping buildings within cities. Right now, the only way to do this is to destroy one building and place another, and sometimes I have to destroy 2 or more buildings just to reorganize everything properly. It would be very helpful to have a swap or move system that allows us to rearrange buildings without destroying half of the city. 9th, the game currently has 3 speed modes. I feel that it could benefit from a 4th speed mode, especially when you are waiting for party pavilions in the late game. 10th, although the party pavilion is a great way to stress test your economy, its overall purpose feels questionable. It can be leveled up many times, which creates a rather grindy atmosphere that does not fit well with a standalone cozy game style. I personally stopped at level 21, as continuing the grind no longer felt enjoyable. It is not quite what I expected from the endgame experience. 11th, there are many players who are sensitive to bright white colors. I will not list all the related conditions, but in games where you are constantly exposed to snowy environments, there should be an option in the settings to disable or reduce the snow effect. 12th, it is a bit hard to distinguish and find ore resources on the map. It would be nice to make them more noticeable. For example, gold deposits could look more golden and shiny, while coal could have large chunks on top of the mountain, so it becomes easier to spot. That is it for the feedback. I hope the developers hear me and consider implementing at least some of these suggestions. I would also like to note that I have been playing strategy simulation games since Sid Meier's Civilization 1, so I have enough experience to judge this genre. So the main question is it worth buying this game? If you enjoy trading simulation games and want to spend a few cozy hours building your own fantasy kingdom with a cup of tea, then this game is definitely for you. The price tag of $9.89 might seem a bit high for the current state of the game, but the developers occasionally drop the price by almost half, so make sure to add it to your wishlist and keep an eye out for sales. That is all for this video. If you like the content, do not forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.